So Super Week finished. I came back home. Had a call from Jim Okovich with Motorola that was interested in signing me too, but he didn't have a sponsor for the 97
he
year.
didn't have Motorola yet.
Right, exactly. No, Motorola, no, it was the opposite. Motorola was finishing, and he didn't have a new sponsor.
He didn't have U.S. Postal yet.
Right, exactly. So, well, that was actually brought on through another team. Okovich actually just ended the whole thing.
Motorola and started over.
Right, exactly. Well, he hasn't found anything. He's been just working a little bit here and there. But so that team didn't exist, and then what had happened is Française literally a week after I gotten back from Super Week, had sent me a contract, and it was all in French, and I couldn't read any of it. Nothing. I couldn't read anything. And I was just like, where do I sign? Right here. And I faxed it back off. Yeah. So, it was a leap of faith, because at the time I'd had a couple, I had something maybe offered from Motorola that could happen if you found a sponsor. And then I had a really good offer from Saturn to come for a 2-year deal just to race full-time, to stay in the States. But I wanted to go to Europe. And at the time, going to Europe, being on a French team, that seemed like the pinnacle of the sport. And so I was all about that. 24, I think.
So 24 years old.
Yeah, 24 years old.
Was that your first experience in Europe when you went over to the team?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It was first. I end up at the end of that year going over to do World Championships in Lugano with the national team. And that was my first time going over there, but this was my first experience of going over where
you're living there.
You live in there. You don't speak the language. You don't know what's going on, and half the time I didn't even know what country I was in.
How tough was that? I mean, as an American going, I've talked to Lance about that, and he said very hard.
Pretty much every U.S. rider that I've known has a problem. There's been one or two that went over there and really just adapted.
Bob Roll.
Yeah,
Bobby
there were a couple that adapted really fast, and right when I went over there in 97, 98, 99, the computer world doesn't exist. No. I mean, it does in offices and stuff like that, but it doesn't really exist where you have the connection now that you had.
Right.
In 97, 98, 99, they didn't even have internet services available in the hotels or anything like that.
So you're basically,
you're
on your own.
Yeah,
you got to figure out the language. You got to figure out what to eat.
Absolutely. That was the last time for pro riders to go over there where you really had to get submerged in the lifestyle and everything. And it wasn't something I adapted good to.
No, it was hard for you.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
How long did you stay with those guys?
I stayed 3 years with those guys, then came back, did a couple years with Mercury. That team had some financial problems and a few other problems here and there. And then I switched and did a bunch of different teams. Signed on after Mercury, I signed on with Prime Alliance, which was a fantastic team. Mm-hmm. After that, I had a 2-year offer to go with Saturn. And so I really wanted to stay with Prime Alliance, but you couldn't turn down the 2-year offer with Saturn. It was good job security and the pay was even better. And so I went with Saturn, but then their sponsor left me because we had a 2-year deal, but they actually only stayed for 1. Right. And so, which was actually good for me financially. They paid out both years.
Oh, they paid you both years?
Yeah, they paid out for both years. and so that was good for me. And then I did with one of the smallest pro teams in the U.S. with Webcor. It was a California, San Francisco-based team. And so that was a fantastic year. We had a great time. Everything was really well done. One of the best organized teams with absolutely no budget, but still one of the best organized teams I've been on. And so from there, though, I had an offer to go back to Europe with the Spanish team, Saunier Duval, and I wanted to do the Tour de France.
Of course.
So if you want to do the Tour de France, you got to do it. So I had to take a pay hit again, but I got a chance of doing the Tour de France.
And that was just a few years ago.
Yeah, that was
05.
Yeah, 05. Yep.
05. And obviously, you've done U.S. races, and the trappings around the U.S. races are great. But is there anything compared to that first experience being at the Tour?
Nothing. Well, the biggest and best experience I've had so far was really World Championships in '96. Okay. It was in Lugano. It's right on the border of Italy and Switzerland. It had an enormous crowd. That was huge. The Tour de France was like that, but every day. Yeah. It really was. It's every day. It's a 3-week adventure, and every day is like that.
And you didn't really find out you were going to be in that until sort of towards Tour of Switzerland?
Oh, no, I had, absolutely. I joined the team, and like I told you earlier, I took a huge pay cut to come to the team. I was getting incredibly good offers, better than what most people would think you could get in the States, to stay in the States and continue racing here. But done everything I wanted to do in the States. I really wanted to go and get a shot at doing the Tour de France again because I'd missed that opportunity with Française. I'd missed the opportunity with Mercury, which realistically had a team that was capable of doing a Tour de France. And so I wanted another shot at it.
Sure.
So I just gambled everything to go over with Saunier Duval and do the Tour de France. But I'd broken my leg early in the season. And so I didn't get to do anything. I went over there. I had visa problems getting over there to begin with, and so when I got the visa problems, I'd already missed a month of the season. Got over there, crashed. It had fractured a bone in the leg, and so I'd come back to the States. Didn't get back over there till after the USPRO Championships. But when I went to, I had basically USPRO Championships and a Tour of Switzerland to do. Yeah. Team told me you're not doing the Tour de France because I was on the Giro d'Italia team, but I'd missed that because of a broken leg.
Yeah.
And originally I thought, okay, this is a great plan. Come on to the Spanish team, I'll do the Giro, going to win me a stage or do something.
Sure.
And then I'm going to tell them I want to do the Tour de France.
Yeah.
But you had to pick. At the beginning of the season, you had to pick. Do you want to do the Giro or you want to do the Tour? They said, you can't do both. We need to split up the team for both. Nobody wants to do both anyway, so you can't do both. But I wanted to do both. And I was sure I was going to do both. So so I was like, okay, I'm going to do the Giro. But I didn't tell them I'm going to do the Tour too. But the problem was I broke my leg for the Giro. And now, because I'd broken my leg, no one had seen me race. And they hadn't seen any results out of me. Half the team had never even met me before. I think I'd met like 6 riders on the team, and that was it. And so the directors were, we don't even know who this kid is. And so I knew at USPRO Championships, if I went to USPRO Championships, won the jersey, then they'd have to take me to the Tour. Because the sponsors were, some of the American sponsors were absolutely going to, demand it. Yeah, we got to have Horner go. He's an American on the team.
Absolutely.
You got to bring him. And he has a Stars and Stripes jersey. But I ended up finishing 3rd. And so I was like, ooh.
Time's running out.
3rd. So, okay, I got to go to Tour of Switzerland,
Yeah.
and now I have to win something or do something big at Tour of Switzerland. So I get to Tour of Switzerland, and the director's name, the head director is Machine, and I go up to Machine and say, hey, I want to do the Tour de France. He goes, you can't do the Tour de France. It's full. There's no room for you. I say, I'm doing the Tour de France. Make room for me. I got good form. I'm going to do good things. He's like, yeah, whatever. So, anyways, we did the first,
a lot of confidence.
Right, no confidence. So we do the first few stages. I'm finishing the stages. Going after every stage, I'm near the front of the group, but they're flatter stages to begin with. But I'm still finishing pretty decent up there. And I'm like, hey, I still want to do the Tour. After every stage, I still want to do the Tour, Machine. And I'm not fluent in Spanish. It's kind of broken up Spanish, but I still make it clear to him I want to go, and he still makes it clear I can't go. And so we do the time trial. I had an okay time trial, but not fantastic.
Right.
I was about 2 minutes off the winning pace, so it kept me up on GC, but not enough to where they'd be like, ooh,
you have to take it.
Right, exactly. And then stage 6 came in the Tour of Swiss, and it finished up. It had 2 big climbs, 2 20-mile climbs. First one's probably 15. The last one's pretty close to 20 miles. It's a really big climb. And we hit the bottom of the climb. It's about a 40, 50-man group, and I just kind of not even quite attacked, just accelerated up the side. And then as soon as I got around the corner, then I just hit the gas. And I ended up winning that stage. And then when Machine finished, he got up near me, and he's like, you're going to Tour.
That is great.
It made it all worthwhile.
Absolutely.
It really did. Going to the Tour was fantastic that year. I didn't have to work for anyone. Like the last 2 years, I did it with Lotto, with Cadel Evans, who's finished 2nd on GC each year. I had to do a lot of work for Cadel. But this year with the Spanish team, I was free to do whatever I wanted. If I could ride for GC, I was free for that. Right? So I thought, okay, I'll focus on being top 10 at the Tour. If I can't make top 10, I'm going to focus on stages. And so I had a bad day where it knocked me out of top 10. I was sitting more like 25th or so, and that really wasn't doing a whole lot for me. So then I just went on attacks and tried to get in breaks and came close to winning a stage that year too. But, close is never quite the win.